Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Styledbyjordanna the series. This is episode number 5, and today we're going to be focusing on dressing for different body types and specifically focusing on different proportions for different body types. So one of the things that my clients ask me the most, and I guess what they are typically most frustrated about, is finding pants and denim that fit their body types. So a lot of the time, shorter women struggle finding denim that fits right, taller women struggle finding pants that fit right. So I really want to dive into denim to start with, just to show you guys that it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't wear a certain style denim just because of your body type and your proportions. Sometimes it's just about how you wear those clothes. So we're going to really get into that right now. Okay, so I think to start, when figuring out what style of denim is going to suit you best and make you feel most comfortable, it's important to focus basically on the length of your torso and the length of your legs. So if you have a shorter torso, high-waisted can be unflattering because it's going to break up the top half of your body. So if it comes really high and then you don't have much other space here, you're going to look in the mirror and you're not going to feel comfortable. So for women who do have shorter torsos, I always suggest a mid-rise denim because it's basically going to have the same effect that a high-rise denim has on someone with a longer torso. It basically is just going to mean that the top half, there's enough space and it accentuates the length of your entire body. So on from talking about how short or long your torso is, obviously then plays into it is your height. So women who are taller and have longer legs, I always suggest a high-rise denim because it accentuates your legs. Sometimes if you are shorter, a mid-rise denim is better because the high-rise is going to come up so high, but if you have short legs and then a short torso, the proportions are going to feel off for you. So mid-rise for short torsos and high-rise for longer legs, longer torsos. That is not to say that you cannot wear a high-rise jean if you are shorter. I'm just trying to break down the proportions for you, but I'm going to show you some of mine and give you some examples of some high-rise denim that is flattering, I think, for everyone. So high-rise that I think is very flattering on all would be the wide leg denim. I'm going to show you an example of the pair that I wear religiously. These are by a brand called Coco. It's an Israeli brand. So these, obviously, they kind of sit around here on me and they are particularly long, but they really make my legs look very long. And because they're not slim fit or even straight leg, they obviously have a wider structure, they make them look even longer. So for women who are shorter and I'm 5'6" as a reference, so for women who are shorter than that and don't necessarily have the natural height, a wide leg is very flattering. Another little trick to elongate what we may have or don't have naturally, specifically with wide leg, I always think they pair best when wearing them with a shoe that has a point. It doesn't have to be a heel. I think it looks better with a heel because it acts in lengthening, which is obviously what we all want, but anything that has some type of point as opposed to a round, I'm just going to pull an example for you. So like anything like this, or even the shoes I'm wearing, which you can't see, but they're these, a different color. Anything like this is going to go straight down, and then it's kind of just going to have this, like, I always do this demonstration for my clients where I just kind of say it's like a whoosh effect, where it just goes like straight, which is exactly what you're looking for. One more general point I want to make about when buying denim and finding the styles and the cuts that fit you. A lot of the time I have conversations with clients, or I'm at their house and they're trying on, and typically for a client, as an example, who has wider hips and a wider butt area but smaller legs, they find that when they're trying straight leg denim, as an example, it almost fits like a skinny denim up top but then goes straight, which obviously is not flattering. So a little tip that I've been giving them, which I'm going to give you, is to size up one size. Depending on the brand, you may need to do that 2 sizes, but typically I would say that 1 size is fine. And what that's going to do is, because it's really technically too big for you, it's going to fit in this part of you that might be a little wider, as a straight leg should fit, or as a slim cut should fit, as opposed to fitting as a skinny jean up here and a straight at the bottom. And then all you're probably going to need to do is get the waist part altered a little bit and taken in, and that's a super easy fix. Now let's focus on some of the top half items we can be wearing with wide leg, specifically jeans, but it also kind of goes with wide leg pants as well, which I'm going to talk about next. So given the nature of a wide leg pant, it obviously doesn't stick to your leg in any way, right? It goes straight down. So with that, it always looks best, I think, when you have something on your body that is looser. It's not as flattering to have two loose things. So it's better if you're wearing a looser pant to be wearing a more structured fitted top. So it can even just be a simple tank top tucked into it, add a belt if you wanted to, or it could be like a cropped sweater. It's fitted, and because it's cropped and it's going to stop right where the denim starts, which is going to be flattering, it accentuates your hips and your waist, which is exactly what you want. Same effect with, I'm going to show you, the cropped jacket. So this is actually where a cropped jacket plays in really nicely. So it's really best worn, I think, with something that is looser on the bottom half because of how it stops. So a good cropped jacket should probably kind of stop at your hip, and then it kind of it hangs over slightly to the denim as the denim starts. So again, it just has the effect of making everything appear longer. Okay, so on from this point about tucking things in and where you can wear cropped items with wide leg pants and jeans, I'm going to show you some examples of some pants that I have. Steer away from denim for a little bit. So these are the Frankie shop Gelso pants. So with high-waisted pants, it's actually quite important, and a good pair, if it has this pleat in each side of the pant, typically means it's more flattering than sometimes when it doesn't have it, because when it doesn't, it has less structure to it, which can again be less flattering. So with something like this, again, when we're just referencing the top half, something fitted, a cropped jacket, blazer of any kind. Also, an important point if you're wanting to wear a sweater or cardigans or that type of thing, I think it's more flattering, and this is for any high-waisted. If you do that little French tuck, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's just tucking the initial front part of your top in basically where like the button of the pant is. Just do a little French tuck. Again, it basically just kind of has the effect of cinching in your waist. It also makes everything appear neater and more tidy, and when that happens, we feel more elevated, we feel more put together, which is typically what we're looking for out of a look as well. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit more about the skinny pant or skinny denim. I know that there's a lot of things at the moment where where people tell you that you shouldn't be wearing skinny jeans anymore. However, some people do like skinny jeans, and I am never one to tell someone that they shouldn't wear something just because it's not trending. So there are definitely ways to wear it to still make it feel modern and relevant and cool and also flattering, which is obviously what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to show you an example. I actually have a skinny leather pant instead of a skinny jean. These ones are by The Row. So these are again high-waisted. I think typically, again, depending on your torso, I have a longer torso and long legs, so these are why mine are high-waisted. You can find ones that are more mid-rise, which would, as I said, so you would have a shorter torso. So with skinny, sometimes it can appear unflattering because obviously they cling everything so tightly that areas that maybe we don't want clothes to cling to, like if we had big butts or big hips, it feels unflattering depending on what you're putting on the top half. So I think with anything that is this style, this is where more oversized top half pieces can come into play. So I have an oversized blazer with me. So something like this that's very skinny with something oversized on top is super flattering, because what's this going to do is this is going to come and cover all the parts that we kind of need it to cover or want it to cover. And again, you're just going to feel straight and very put together, very elevated, and it's super simple. So instead of putting something like this with a shorter piece, I'm going to show you, obviously you can't see super well as I hang it up, but this is just going to break up your body. This is going to stop, and then this is going to start, and the proportions of it, regardless of what shoe you put with it, is not going to look right. you need something that's gonna fall over the pant. Okay, so now that we've spoken about like top half proportions a little bit with pants, I really want to focus on shoes. I get this question a lot from clients where depending on the style of the denim cut they have and the length that it hits on their ankles or above their ankles, they get very stuck on what shoe to then pair for it. A lot of the time people will be wearing a crop denim, they put a very chunky sneaker on like this and they're like, I hate it. And they hate it because all it's doing is breaking up their leg. So a couple of tips I would say, I'm actually going to, as an example, use the pair of leather pants I have on. These are the 90s pinch waist Agolde leather pants. And I know you can't see, but I will describe them to you. They stop just above my ankles. Any denim that stops just above, I don't mean a big distance above, I mean it literally hits just above where your ankle starts. Sneaker looks great with it. So I wear these all the time with sneakers because it means there's only a tiny gap between where the shoe starts and where the pant starts. So it can't break me up in any way, or even the way that I don't want it to break me up. For any denim that goes, that stops longer than that, so I'm going to show you an example of another Agolde pair I have. I think these might be the Lana, I'm not 100%. But these are longer, so they stop just basically, I think just below my ankle. So if I put these with a chunky sneaker, it looks pretty messy because it kind of like bulges up the bottom of the denim and there's no gap whatsoever, so it doesn't look as neat and stuff. So for a denim like this that is naturally longer, like the Lana jean, I would do more of a flat option. So you could do a loafer, anything that basically kind of is just going to show your foot a little bit, because you kind of always want there to be a little bit of skin, whether it's the tiny bit of your ankle skin or whether it's your foot skin, for it to really like elongate you, obviously outside of wearing boots with denim, but let's talk about spring, you want there to be a little bit of skin. Okay, I'm now going to talk, I'm going to stay away from our legs for a minute. I'm going to talk about our top half. So obviously we all have different things going on, big boobs, small boobs, no boobs. Whatever it might be, certain tops and necklines and stuff will be more flattering than others depending on how broad your shoulders are or how petite your frame is. So I've got some tank tops to show you, but we can also talk about sweaters and stuff like that. So as an example, this is a very pretty cami from Cami NYC, and obviously as you can see it's spaghetti straps. I typically find with clients that a client who has broader shoulders, let's just, regardless of the boob situation right now, if you have broader shoulders, something that is this delicate looking, it's not that it's not flattering, it's just typically I find that it doesn't make the client feel as good. If you have broader shoulders, I think a little more structure in a tank or a sweater, as an example, is better. So something like this that obviously has the thicker straps, it just doesn't bring all the attention to this area here, and it kind of just keeps it, as we keep discussing, in proportion a little bit better. Then there's also obviously the razor tank. This again, if you have broader shoulders, you may not like it as much on you. This kind of focuses on your boob size a little bit more as well, which we can get into. So if you are larger chested, something that's like this, that's like the razor cami, is not always as flattering. And that's not just because of the bra straps in that situation, it's just because it kind of goes like this on you. Anything obviously large you have going on here, it kind of might throw that out of proportion a little bit. So again, if you have larger boobs, something like this is better because again, it has more structure to it. If you have larger boobs, this might just not work in general because again of how delicate it is. So it's really, as I keep saying, just figuring out those proportions. If you are very petite like myself and obviously have no boobs, I find this type of strap is really flattering for me because it kind of just accentuates my collarbone and obviously my small shoulders, whereas I like this on me, but it doesn't really do much for my chest area because I'm so small. It almost just makes me look a little concave, I would say sometimes, and more flat. So as I keep saying, if you are slightly bigger up top, this style is better instead of if you are like me and smaller. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you found some of these styling tips helpful and you can implement them now based on your different body types. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at Jordana Sharp for more styling tips, ways I style myself, ways I style my clients. So yeah, thank you for watching.